What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the review for Black Ink Crew Chicago, Season 5, Episode 10. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, my son just pissed me the fuck off. Let me get myself together. I knew I shouldn't even have called him back. He called while I was doing my Top of the Blogs video, and I was like, let me finish these videos, and then I'll call him back. And then I called him back with some bullshit. Let me get to the show. So the show opens with Phor. He's depressed, and he's talking about he wishes that he was dead. And I'm sitting here watching like, well, damn, what happened? Well, let's rewind the camera back 14 hours, and then it'll kind of let you know how it built up to it. 14 hours earlier, Van is telling us how much of an idiot he feels like. You know, he knows that he let Jen down. Jen left the house, went and checked herself into a hotel, and she's cut off all contact from Van. So he got to work off this energy. He fighting with the punching bag with his old Bufferino self. Just thick around all up and through up in here somewhere. We see Charmaine, you know, her contribution to the meaningless chatter on this here episode is the fact that she can't find her Diva cup. And the Diva cup, I've used one, TMI, but you know, it's the cup. You can use a cup instead of using a tampon. They say that's better for you, it's better for the environment. You don't have all of this chemical soaked you know, paper jammed up inside of you. This cup, where it's just a cup, okay? You are able to bend it like this, and you push it in there, and you push it all the way up to the top, and then it locks in there up at the top, and your menstruation, look, I'm giving y'all just a thing, it fills the cup. Okay, and herein is why I don't use the cup any longer. I've tried it once or twice. It's cool because nothing comes out. Absolutely no, nothing. Okay, even when you pee, ain't no little pink nothing. All right, I know this is TMI for my men, but I'm just letting the women know so y'all have choices out there. But when you're pulling it out, if it tips over, then when I tell you got a day's worth of blood in your hand, it's coming down, and it's a mess. You got to fully get in the tub just to take that shit off. Okay, take it out. And that was a little too much for me. I just told you guys yesterday how I'm so grossed out so easily. And just trying to do all that, yeah, no. We're going to have to just take our chances on the tampons. But that's what the Diva cup is for people out there who are wondering what exactly it is. It's a cup that closes everything off. You can have sex and when you're on your cycle and not have to worry about it, as long as you don't get too wild and knock the shit all over the place. Okay, but anyway, that was her contribution to the meaningless chatter on this here episode. We see Ryan talking to Van, trying to tell him, you know, John, just trying to give him some good advice. Like, you know, Ryan's been there. All right, he knows exactly what Van is going through, but Van, you're going to have to handle this. Like, you're going to have to talk to Jen. You're going to have to get it figured out, okay? Because look what happened to Ryan. It ain't really worked out that well for him. He's single now. Try to get that situation handled with Jen. Did I tell you guys that Charmaine was planning on having a party for their clients that they met in Vegas? How the fuck long they been in Vegas that they got to have a party for the people that they meet? You could tell these folks just love to have them a damn party. So this party, they know they tried it at first. I was looking at them, I was like, is there anybody even fucking there? It looked like it was a few people. Nothing compared to the Chicago parties that they have. But, I mean, I know them neighbors was over it, child. They little Airbnb, they had the motherfucking microphone back there and everything. All that talking loud. I know them neighbors was like, when the fuck are they gonna finish filming in that house? You know, they had the drinks, the red cups, you know, and the music and all of that around. So, I mean, it's shaping up to be a classic Chicago party. Well, they're there. Who should show up but Junior and his girl? Now, you know, Junior is supposedly coming back to 9 Mag. So here he comes showing up with the girl. Lily sees him, and she's sort of taken aback when she sees him with the girlfriend. You know, Lily even admits to us, like, she did finally, you know, just accept that he had moved on with the girl, but seeing them together has kind of jarred her. I don't even think she's sure that she don't have feelings for him anymore. I said, oh Lord, you already know some shit is about to go down. Now let's flip over to Don. All right, Don is at a bar in Chicago and he's waiting to meet with his father. So his father is depressed. Remember, he was telling us about there. He had some recent deaths. I think the grandmother, I think the father's brother. So it would be the father's brother, the father's mother, and Don's sister. So I'm assuming that was the father's daughter, have all died within a short span. So the dad is going through some things. I guess depression runs in their family. So Don is concerned for his dad. He wants to spend some time with him, just trying to get his dad back feeling good. Well, the dad doesn't show up at the bar. So he calls Ashley and he's just telling Ashley how worried he is, that, he's just trying to be there for everybody, trying to keep everything together. But he feels like he doesn't have any control over it. So he was just like, well, if he's not going to come here, then I'm just going to pull up at his house and see what's up, like where he is. So he drives over to the dad's house. Turns out the dad hadn't even tried to come meet him. I guess the dad was just like, forget it, but Don pulled up on him and was just like, I know you in a bad way with what happened to grandma and uncle, whoever it was, and his sister, but he just, he's telling him, like, you don't have to feel like you by yourself. Like, I'm here. Like, I want to make sure that you here, for your grandkids. And it was so touching. Like, the dad was crying and I was like, okay, let me get it together, you guys. The dad was crying. But you could just tell, like, it was genuine. It wasn't put on. This probably was the best episode that Black Ink Crew Chicago has ever put on. But, he was just trying to tell the dad. And the dad said, well, I'm really not ready to give up. I do want to be here for my grandkids. But, it's just so much that he can take. And like I said, depression runs in his family. He even mentions that Phor, has been diagnosed with depression back when he was young. So Don just assures him that he's going to be there. He's going to take care of him. He's just aware now because of the sister. And I think the sister killed herself, right? So he now is a little bit more aware of the signs of when depression is about to hit. And so he just wants to make sure that he's there for his dad. And I thought it was a really touching scene. But let's go back to Vegas. So Lily's trying to deal. I think she's trying to stay sober and not get to tripping. It's so funny that as much as I couldn't stand Lily the last couple of seasons, this season, Lily has just sort of just been like over it and tired and don't feel like all this fighting and fussing and everything. I think she realized that last season really had turned a lot of people for her. Like this season, I was like, okay, now if this could have been the Lily the whole time, I'd have been cool with Lily. So she goes up to the girl. She tells her and Junior, look, I know that we had or whatever happened in Jamaica, but I just want you to know I'm over it. I'm not fighting you guys. I've accepted whatever it is. Like, I don't even want to have no drama with you guys and all of that. So they all agree that that's in the past, and let's take some shots and have a good time and drink, and it's all good. Something already was listening to them Lily talking, and I was like, something ain't right with Junior's girlfriend. That bitch is crazy. Something is off. We get through that. Lily and the girlfriend and Junior are cool. Okay, now as the night goes on, everybody's getting increasingly drunk. We see Charmaine try to walk through the fucking glass door. They was like, oh, like, okay, Charmaine, so everybody is getting increasingly drunk. Who should show up but Jen? Okay, she said she heard about this party, so she came on through. And, of course, she and Van are going to talk. And it is a high emotional, she yelling and screaming at Van. How do you feel? He said he feels stupid. She say, well, I feel stupid too. Okay, we feel stupid together. Van's whole thing is he did want to marry her. He just didn't want to marry her that way. Okay, I wouldn't have wanted them to get married that way either. So I don't know really what Jen was thinking. I think she was just kind of going for the whole dramatic. You know how we as women, sometimes we could just be extra dramatic and just trying to make a point. Okay, so I think that's what she was trying to do. She was just like, why are we talking? She can't keep going through this again and again. Van is trying to plead his case, and she says she don't want to hear no talking. She want to see him doing it. So he get to crying, and it's some for real crying, full tears on the face, and she was like, I hate you. Okay, I hate you when you go out with your friends. I hate you when you drunk. And if she like this close, okay, you could tell it if the cameras wasn't there and they was finally able to get back in the good terms, they was gonna have some good sex that night because it was like that kind of tension. She telling him everything that she hates about him, and he tried to touch her, and she's like, "Don't touch me." Okay, it was very, very dramatic. The whole thing is she's putting it all on Don. Why do I keep wanting to call him Don? She keep putting it all on Van. But you were a part of it. You've been with Van all these years. You put up with Van all these years. You know, men are only going to do what you let them do to you. So you have to take some responsibility in creating whatever this monster that you think that Van is, the shit that you don't want him to do or be. You just can't accept that from the beginning. 10 years later, then you finally open your eyes. So, you know, I can see why she would be mad and everything, but I still don't think that this is the end of Jen and Van. It's still there, you could tell. Now, getting back to the party, it's revving up. All right, everybody is partying. It look like there's more people there. Now it's starting to look like a Chicago Inc. party. And Lily is just really hurt seeing Junior and the girl. So she goes out to the garage and she's just kind of getting her a breath of fresh air. And then here come the girlfriend. Like, what's the matter? Why you out here drinking? I said, now listen, I just said we was cool. I ain't said that I was about to spill all my, feelings to you, bitch. Like, I'm not your friend like that. You ain't got to come out here and check on me. But Lily and her get to talking. Lily was just like, I have to admit, like, it's hard for me to see you guys together. I mean, I know you guys are together and I've accepted that you guys are together. And the friend gonna say, well, I feel sorry for Lily because, she was in love with somebody that didn't love her back. And she lost and I won. All right, well, you won, Junior. So, I mean, how much did you win? But just the fact that the girlfriend is saying shit like this. Now, Lily is trying to be cool with your ass. And for you to be like, oh, he didn't even love her. And, he didn't do this. And, she did. I was just like, again, even though Lily gets on my nerves, I really don't like your ass. Lily says, well, fuck, since we being so open with each other, Lily get to telling her how he had sent her a text message talking about how much he loved her and all this at the beginning of their relationship. Okay, now this is at the beginning. All right, maybe I'm too easygoing, but when you guys first get to dating and, you trying to break off old shit with old people, and starting new shit, there's some overlap sometimes. I don't even know if I would have believed Lily if I was the girlfriend because of the history. It would just have been something that I would have had to just been like, well, that was then, we've been good and our relationship is cool now. But, the girl is crazy and she don't trust him. He always lied to me. He said that to you. Why would she lie? Junior come in there like, why y'all in here talking? And she go off on him because Lily told her that he said that he loved her. Okay, and he said he didn't do that, and Lily is just looking at him like, why are you lying? He said, no, I said I had love for you. Okay, well, he could have said either or. And again, as a girlfriend, you would have just had to decide right then what you believed, okay, from past experiences, what you believe about your man. Now, the fact that she said that he lies all the time, that's why she chose to believe Lily. And of course, this is whole confrontation. She yelling and screaming. She leaving, he want to go. It's just, there's too much tumultuous with Junior and that girlfriend. So let the bitch leave. But he go off on Lily and say, see, that's the kind of person that you are. You would sit up here and you would lie. Okay, that lets me know that you ain't changed and this, that, and the other. And he's going off on her. And Lily just kind of kept her composure. Like, okay, you can go off, but you did say what you said to me, and that's why I told her. And she needs to know what she working with. Okay, what y'all thought about that whole conversation? Who did you believe, Lily, or did you believe Junior? All of that happens. Then we get thrown completely into left field. It's 2:08 in the morning. We see Charmaine knocking on a door and you can hear somebody crying like, and it turns out that it's Phor. Okay, so now we are back to where the show began. And he tells her that he feels so alone. He doesn't want to be alive. And she's just like, wait, what's going on? I guess because of all the commotion that's going on in the house, Ryan comes in there. And, Ryan is trying to talk to Charmaine is trying to convince him, like, we love you. Everybody is here for you. Like, and Phor just tells her, like, you know what? There's nothing left in my life right now. There's no value. He finds no pleasure in anything. He feels like he doesn't have anything. He feels like he is not even necessary. Charmaine starts thinking about how she thought maybe he might be going through something. He was promoting one of his songs. He had a noose around his neck. But then, you know, he seemed to be okay afterwards. And I was like, how do you guys think that he was okay afterwards? I mean, I don't even know Phor. I just watched the show. But I have told you guys from the very beginning of the season that Phor has not been right. Okay, and I ain't know shit about no song, no noose, none of that. I could tell that Phor has been unhappy ever since him and Nikki broke up. All that shit happened, and I think his life fell apart. Now, if he has depression in his life, he's just a person that deals with battles with depression. But I also believe that those turn of events probably triggered it back up. So, when Charmaine said she thought that maybe he was okay because he seemed like he was acting okay, and I was like, now I'm watching through just a silver screen, and I can tell that ain't nothing, something is wrong. She's trying to talk to him, and Ryan tells her to get out. So she gets out, and she goes to tell Van. But while she's going in there to tell Van, Ryan and Phor have the most. I'm telling you guys, I was crying, and it wasn't even like just a little tear. I mean, I was just like, I mean, it was so powerful, the things that Ryan was saying to him. I'm not sure if Phor was feeling what he was saying at the time, because it was almost like Phor was a bit resistant, but Ryan was holding on to him so tight and just trying to drive it home, like, I'm here. Like, you don't ever feel like, you don't have nothing, like, we brothers. Like, oh my God, it was just, I'm telling you, it was just really something. I felt so bad for Phor. I've never dealt with somebody that had depression issues like that, but I can imagine how frustrating it must be for somebody who is just giving up so bad and there's nothing that you can say or do. Phor wanted some space. Ryan was just like, you tell me you lonely, I'm not going to leave you alone. Okay? Like, I'm going to be here for you the whole entire time. Like, Ryan was just like there and just trying to convince him, trying to talk to him. And, and I'm sure it was probably overwhelming, but Phor just was over it. All right. Charmaine goes and wakes up Van and tells him, what's going on with Phor. And Van comes in there and is talking to him. Phor said that all he wanted to do was drown in that pool today. Okay. That was like his only thing that he thought about the whole entire day. But he just felt like he was just nothing. Like, and I can't imagine feeling like that. Just completely giving up. I just felt so bad. So, Phor was like, Charmaine wanted him to get help. And, the producers was in and out of the room, and they were saying how, they wanted him to get help. Well, he was like, I just want to sleep on it. Like, I want to go to bed. I'm tired. Okay. And, in the morning, we'll see. So Van was like, fine, we'll go to bed, but I'm going to sleep in here. I got the foot of the bed. And Phor appreciated that. He was just like, I love you to Van. And Ryan and Charmaine went back in the other room. And, it was just, with all the bullshit that they put on this show, this definitely was an episode that, out of all of the shows that I watched that will even touch on the topic of depression or suicidal like this was the only one that has really touched me the way that it did. So the next morning, early in the morning, turns out that Phor, while everybody was asleep, slipped out of the house. Okay, and the executive producers was now frantic because, with the state that he was in the night before, they don't need this kind of thing on their hands. Okay, they would be liable for whatever happened to Phor. So they were frantic trying to find where he is. They're calling. He'd been gone, and for hours. They just didn't know. Okay, people were texting him. He wasn't answering, no texts, no calls. They finally called Don on FaceTime, Charmaine and Van. And side note, Charmaine with the no bra. I just cannot. Okay. Now, I know once shit got deep around there, she probably didn't think about it no more. But the entire time that you were in this house with all of these men who are not your man, they ain't your brothers. And even if they was your brothers, like, you too fucking old, your titties too big to be walking around here with your titties hanging out on the side. Like, if I was her man, I would have a problem with that. Like, you up there with all these men and you walking around with your full titties out on the side. Put a fucking bra on. Put them things away. So I was just like, oh my God. Every time they had to keep blurring out her side, I said, oh, that's Charmaine. We're going to have to do something with them titties, girl. Anyway, they call Van. sorry, they called Don, let him know what's going on. Don says, yeah, he definitely has depression issues. You know, he's had them since he was a kid. You know, I don't know where he is. They're like, well, try to find out where he is, call him and all. I don't know if Don ever was able to get in touch with him, but eventually he did respond to Van, and he told Van that he wanted him to come where he was. So, and without the cameras and without anybody else. So Van went on. Producers are all relieved that, you know, he's found, he's okay. And Van goes to wherever he is, and then they call the producers and they tell him that, you know, he's going to take a leave of absence from the show, basically go back to Atlanta where his family is, try to regroup, get him some help, you know, kind of just get away from Chicago and everything that's going on out there right now. Because I'm sure with that Nikki thing, with the video leak and all of the rumors, people saying that he was gay and all of that, that just put him in a, you know, that just kind of just put him in a tizzy. So he just wants to go and regroup and get his life together. So Phor is off the show for now. And I don't know if Phor is coming back because Ryan released a picture of the new 9 mag and neither Phor nor Van are on there. That doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, that they won't be on the show, but they definitely aren't working in the shop with Ryan any longer. But yeah, you guys, it was, and I think Van opened his own shop, if I can remember too. I remember seeing something about that. But, you know, it was really, I was so not expecting it. You know, it's so much full of fucking niggatry on that show. And I remember seeing the previews from last week. They were supposed to be getting into a big fight with Ebonita. Okay. But they must have decided to cut all of that out, scrap it, maybe save it till next week or whatever. And this week they were going to concentrate on what Phor went through. Maybe he gave the okay late and they decided to go on and put it in. I don't know. But it was definitely a touching episode. I felt so bad for Phor, and hopefully he's doing much better. Do you guys, any of you guys follow him? Hopefully he's doing better, but it was definitely a very good episode. I don't know if it's one that I would say you need to start watching the show again, but that one episode deserves a good watch. All right, Roxstars, let me get off of here. Got to get back to work. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel is for It's Rox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.